You are now entering Maximum Driftcast, the only drifting podcast hosted by a Spanish soccer mom, a 30-year-old silver-haired fox going on 60, and finally, a 200-pound bowl of spaghetti with chimichanga arms.
The champions, we are the champions.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I know that this is Maximum Driftcast.
What was that?
I tried to dab.
Yeah, I think you succeeded, kind of. But I mean, I don't know if I would recommend doing it again.
That was a terrible dab. Like,
I didn't know that dabbing was something the kids still did.
I don't know. I don't even know what it is. Like, what does it mean, or
what happened? It started from sneezing,
and like it was just like a way of muting the.
Yeah, well, sneezes are just hopelessly uncool. So they figured out a way to make sneezing cool, which is the dab. So if you have kids, you want to dab around them a bunch. If you are in a business meeting and you hear someone you like, you dab. Or if you just have to sneeze, if you have to sneeze, you dab. I figured there's a lot of good opportunities for dabbling in dabs.
Kids nowadays are so creative. I mean, I'm super surprised.
Yeah, and that's actually that's a good segue into why Corey isn't with us today. Corey actually dabbed earlier and gave himself a black eye.
Yep.
Then he dabbed the other side and blacked out that eye
other
too.
one,
So right now you can't see, and if you can't see, you can't podcast. So everyone knows that.
Actually, you know what, Sam? Why don't you tell people what are they listening to?
Oh, this is the Maximum Driftcast, the only drifting podcast where one of our co-hosts dabbed himself to death.
Sounds about right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so obviously we don't have Corey here today, but we have we provided Brian with a camera, so at least when he talks, it's not gonna be like a mysterious call. So hello, Brian.
Well, I kind of like that he was kind of mysterious and spooky.
Oh,
he was kind of like some phantom, like Racer
a
X.
Phantom Menace.
He's like, what was that? Speed Racer? Racer X? Yeah, that's Speed Racer references.
We
got and Brian's dabbing. Holy shit! Okay, we gotta not do any more dabs.
Well, we have
I don't want anyone else to get hurt.
Close the circle, Brian. Sam, you have to dab as well.
I can't dab. My arms are. It was arm day at the gym today.
Do it. Are you afraid of giving yourself a black eye too?
Yeah,
I feel you.
I've already look. I when I dab, it's gonna shake the whole house, and I'm afraid to
dabbing so hard.
Yeah. What's going on? What's going on with Paco? What's with your car news?
Well, my car news are kind of like the same. I managed to strip down the 2JZ Corvette project. It's finally inside the garage. It's not outside.
I thought it was 1JZ.
No, the 1JZ is gonna be in the van. The Corvette needs to have more J's.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but the car is finally inside the garage. It's not I'm not working on it on the street.
That was kind of, I noticed in your videos there that you're working on a trailer in the street, which is not, I think, the most normal place to work on a car. I guess it is by definition a roofless garage.
Yeah. Actually, it was funny because I actually, after the video was up, I was like, oh, it is actually a roofless garage.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I like being inside. I'm an indoor cat.
And the Corvette has no roof as well.
Oh, there we go. Yep, it's a T-top, extravaganza.
Is it Target top or T-top?
T-top.
So what are you... So how far are you in the process?
Well, the car is fully stripped. It just needs to be. I need to remove the body from the actual frame because I want to sandblast and powder coat at least just the frame. It's only 6 bolts to remove the whole body of the car, so of the frame. So it's super easy, and I can lift the whole body with a cherry picker, same thing you use to pull an engine. So it's pretty straightforward.
And then all you have to do is figure out how to make a 2JZ fit, figure out how to wire it, figure out how to make a custom drive shaft, figure out how to make it run, and outfit the car with everything else that makes it a car, and then you're pretty much done.
Yeah, so I would say 5-6 years.
No, I was gonna say you're gonna have it ready for Formula Drift Long Beach.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to put that car on the wall. I'm just gonna pull
Corey Pro 3.
Yep, I'm gonna pull a Danny George and let Jesus take the wheel.
Well, that sounds exciting.
What's new with you? You've been busy.
Since I have been busy, I'm trying to think of
Mr. Jet Setter.
stuff I can talk about. Not much. I don't know, man. I've got to. Nope, I can't talk about anything. Goodbye.
All right, that's it. Well, dude, like, I mean, yeah, it's that's one of the funny things. Like, a lot of people keeps like sending us like, you know, like little like, hey guys, you heard that this guy did this, or like like little news that come out, and we're like, oh, I mean, yeah, we kind of did, but we couldn't say anything about it.
Yeah,
Kind of sucks.
like little details. Yeah, I'm spending almost every day that I'm in town over at the RS headquarters, which I can't really talk much about yet either. But when the bomb drops, it will drop, and hopefully it blows all of your dingers off.
Yeah, I
but
hope it blows.
we'll
around
wait
your
for
house.
that. Wait for that date. But yeah, I'm doing a big shoot there tomorrow with a Forsberg and turkey leg, and
nice.
should be a good times.
Nice. I heard.
But-
I heard they're kind of fun on videos together. So.
I'm over it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks
Nice.
for listening to our show. You said that Paco, you're an indoor cat. I too am an indoor cat, and since we don't know any big cats,
Well, actually,
no reason to...
before we go to the bigger cat, another one of our indoor cats, Big Balls Brian. Actually, there's this. I just wanted to talk about this real quick. So there's this championship. It's pretty much an 8-round drifting championship that is on Forza.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's what is it called, Brian?
It's called eSports Drift Association, and it's an actual competition on Forza that's being sponsored by Turn 10 themselves.
So Turn 10, the
Sweet.
creators of Forza. And guess what, Sam?
What's that?
We have a dog in the fight.
Is that why you're asking me? So before the show, Paco's asking me if this is the right term. Do we have a dog in the ring?
Or
yeah,
we-
you got I think it's called a dog off course.
We have a
got
cat.
dog-
We have a cat in the box.
You got a cat in the box. All right, cool. So what does that mean? Does it mean Big Balls is driving in a Maximum Driftcast?
Yeah,
vehicle?
he's gonna be representing the Maximum Driftcast drifting on the Forza tournament, and he's probably gonna win.
What is the car outfitted as, Big Balls? What's the deal?
It's an E46. It's a 2005 M3, and it's fitted with the one of the engine options that it has in the game is that it allows you to swap different engines of V8. So I went with the what's the equivalent of like a 2.5 RB twin turbo swap in there. So it kind of behaves more similar to what I'm trying to build right now in real life. So I've basically been trying to mirror like my fantasy build with this car, and then just going into this competition with that. And there's like they're mirroring Formula Drift rules, like with weight to tire size. They have lots of great details on their website too. So if you guys want to Google Esports Drift Association, plus they're going to be, you can watch all these competitions live on Twitch.
When is that going down?
The first round is going to be in March. And it's an exhibition match, March 3rd this year. Then there's another one March 31st, and I'll post the whole schedule.
For sure.
On the drift board and more details on this as well. But we just wanted to let everybody know that I'm going to be participating in this, and if they want to join in and watch, if we're going to have the Maximum Driftcast logo on the BMW. I think you guys, if you read my Forza review article, you could see the car that I'm going to be using on there. Might be doing some updates to the library since then, but.
I recently heard that on Twitch, men can now have their shirts off. It's been an issue that you weren't allowed to show male nipples previously, but now they're less concerned about that. Are you going to be driving with your shirt off, or what's your plan?
Could I wear a shirt that looks like I'm not wearing a shirt?
You should do
Maybe
pasties.
if you could wear a shirt with the nipples cut out, that would really impress everyone.
Want to see my little pepperonis? Is that what?
Well, pepperoni, sure, why not?
Style points.
Well, that's awesome. I'm excited to. What Twitch channel is that going to be on?
I got the name of it right here, so just bear with me a quick second. But yeah, it's
We'll see
going
the
to
details
be.
of what's going down.
Yeah, there's a Twitter official EDSA, esportsdrift.com, and Twitch is. I'll post it in the drift board. I had it here.
Message board.
Yeah, the
It's
message
not
board.
I'm sure that no one's actually going to copy down all the HTTPs.
Yeah,
and
Twitch
backslashes
is
and colons.
official _ esports drift _ sorry, official _ eSports _ drift. Which again, I'll put all these links on the drift board as well. But yeah, so if you guys want to check it out, it'll be really cool. This is actually a legit event. These guys ran it last year, and Turn 10 got wind of what they were doing, watched their event, and then paid to fly all those guys out to their currently running sponsored events with road racing. And they had their talks, and they said, hey, we'll sponsor your drifting competition for this coming year. So that's how Turn 10 got on board. And I think if you own the Xbox One with Forza 7, you can also watch on some of the streaming option in the game itself as well.
That's pretty
Sweet.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll be there making a bunch of Kappa faces and getting shadow banned. So get ready.
I wonder if we can get like virtual media passes. Like, can we get like virtual Larry Chen to go take photos of the virtual drifting?
Try it. Sure, yeah, why not?
That'll be interesting.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to be a heckler in the chat anyways, so I guess we'll see. All right, well, I guess without further ado, let's end the show because I'm bored.
Yeah.
So
Thanks so much.
I'm going to go to sleep. We're all going to go to sleep. And
Well, now, hold on a second, folks. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I was promised I could advertise my cam show, and I'm going to do so.
Oh, God, who... This sounds like a down south snake oil salesman.
This is Maddie C. Advertising Maddie C cams. If you want to see me do all sorts of dirty stuff, it's $4,000 per video.
Wow.
I'll send it personalized to you. Oh, I'm telling you, my customers are the most satisfied on Snapchat.
I want to Maddie see what's underneath that sweatshirt.
Oh. Black.
Hey, Matt.
A
Black shirt.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Your voice sounds a little raspy.
Oh.
Do you
What about this? This is better? This is getting better?
do you think you could use a little bit of something for your cough, man?
What are you trying to say? Oh.
I was making a pun. That was pretty good.
Very good.
Did
Very
you-
good. Very
So
good.
now I have to ask the question, Paco, you're actually sick, or did you plan this and brought cough syrup to the set there?
I've been planning this for the entire day.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, I can't wait to ask him if why is his voice raspy.
Do you have a cough, man? I get it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, is there something I can do for your cough, man?
I think I'm more down with Big Cat. Big Cat's my favorite Matt Coffman name.
Catt Moffmam.
Catt
And
Moffmam.
Somebody made, and which one of you guys made that Instagram about the Driftcats, Maximum Driftcats?
None
No,
of
that's
us.
not us, actually. That's just a fan of the show, I think. Who's
No, there's no way, because Catt Moffmam is something that came from within the series, and now all of a sudden there's like a Catt Moffmam thing on there. And
Well,
I'm
we've
like,
talked
oh.
about it on the show before, and so I mean, our buddy Hillen Dews and Frisk Korsberg, they started doing the reversal names, and Big Cat Moffman I think was their first and their favorite.
Yeah, it was in the hotel parking lot in Canada or something.
I mean,
Well,
are you cool?
what's
Are you
going
cool
on?
with Big Cat? Can we call you Big Cat?
You can call me Catt Moffman, you can call me Big Cat, you can call me bitch.
Whoa!
I really don't-
All right, bitch. What's going on with you?
You asked for it.
It's commonly what people call me. My
You little
host, yeah.
I thought people called you Macaulay Kaufman.
Dude, and like the amount of what was that? Matt Heater, or who? No, who was in Napoleon Dynamite?
Matthew. It's like someone. Oh, let's look it up.
Yeah, Matt Heater
Internet
or something?
Header. It's something header.
Matt Header, yeah. Dude, I got so
Dude.
much Napoleon Dynamite when I was young. It like caused me
You're-
mental problems. Yeah, so
Did it-
that's all right.
Would you
Did it
wear
actually
glasses
issue
or
for a while?
something?
Well, just everywhere I went, people instead of being all like, "Hi, sir, can I help you?" They'd be like, "You know, you look like that dumb fuck from that movie." Like every time.
Well, it looks like you're
John Heater. John Header.
There you go.
John Heater, that's what it was.
It looks like your place is pretty empty right now. Are you home alone?
It's more Macaulay jokes. I'm into it.
Man, I'm so slow to get all these, man.
No, you are at your garage in Oregon, and you tried to broadcast from your garage, but the heater was too loud, so you're in your office there. But we saw your drifty car in the background a little bit.
Yeah.
That thing's coming together. You putting in the sweat equity yourself on that thing?
Yeah, unfortunately, I kind of like have no team at the moment. But so for a couple weeks, over the last week, I've actually had my old crew chief that helped me through Pro-Am and stuff actually up here helping me out. So that was kind of a cool thing to work with him again. But yeah, kind of just like putting that together. Had to put an entire brand new team together back in February, or the beginning of February. I didn't have like a team at all, and so now I actually have crew members and a crew chief for this year and stuff like that. So a lot less panicked than I was.
Yeah.
But but it's still coming along. But yeah, pretty much just get ready.
Well, hopefully you're not doing any drastic changes to chassis or motor when you already have drastic team changes.
Yeah, I plan on doing nothing like that. I've been trying to put this clutch on the car for the last couple of years, which actually has a flywheel on it. And Vaughn and like Justin and them tried to run this clutch years back, but it just didn't work. So but I've spent the last like 4 years trying to like get used to using it. So it's like I've got it down now, but I really am like trying to like do that before the season starts. But I'll have to make like a new set of headers to be able to fit the bell housing and like all sorts of stuff like that.
I'm gonna hold you right there. A cat just jumped into the background of your image, and it's awesome.
Oh, Georgia.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's her bed up there. That's a good kitty right there. I'll tell you what. Ain't you, Georgia? Yeah,
What's
she's a good cat.
you right before we started the show, you said that you got Georgia in a unique way.
Yeah, so and when we were in Georgia this year, I am like terrible. Well, I was. I'm better now, but I was like terrible about drinking water and like keeping myself hydrated. So it's like I just got super dehydrated in Georgia, and like I don't know if you guys have ever like lifted something up that's super heavy from the ground all the way to above your head, but sometimes it can give you a pretty intense like head rush.
Yeah, every single day.
Like, what'd you say, Paco?
Every single day, I'm all about licking heavy stuff.
Paco's a heavy lifter.
Are you a gym guy? Are you
No, I thought
he's a total gym rat.
I thought you say licking.
No.
Okay,
my bad.
I never pass
So
out.
did you pass out from dehydration?
So so the canopy poles for the side of the trailer, like they're pretty heavy, and by the time that they're attached to the trailer and you lift them all the way up, then it's like it's quite an effort. And so like I just lifted it all the way above my head, and then I just woke up in the car ride, like headed to the hospital, and they said that I just like lifted above my head and then fell straight backwards and hit my head on a trailer.
Oh, sick. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember having like crazy tunnel vision? Because I've passed out when I was in like 4th grade. I went to like some museum with my class, and I remember like listening to some person talk, and then I remember like opening my eyes, and it's like one of those like movie scenes where you pass out, like some kid gets in a fight and wakes up, and like everyone is standing over him. I remember that, and that was probably the most embarrassing moment of my life, because then everyone's like, "Oh God, Sam's gonna die. He's got cancer," and no, I just forgot to drink water. But as a 4th grader, that made me uncool for the rest of the year, because I was. Take it from me, guys. I was a really cool kid in school for sure.
What was your high school name?
High school name was Old Finger Banger McGee.
What about the PG version?
Oh, the Blaster. They call me the Blaster.
I thought you were Kickflip.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, because of all that kickflips.
He went to multiple schools, so he got different names.
Yeah.
He went around a lot. Got kicked out from school to school.
Out. I just kept on forgetting to drink water and kept on passing out, so they'd make me leave the
Too much
school.
finger banging.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why I'm dehydrated. I was super dehydrated from all that stuff. Yeah, that's a bummer. Was that at Forza the Drift Atlanta?
Yeah, that was in Atlanta. So anyways, so I passed out, hit my head on the trailer, and then woke up on the car ride there. And then my mom heard about it while she was out like trying to get ice or something like that for like a cooler or something. And then she goes on her way to the hospital, and then on her way to the hospital, it was the smallest little kitten sitting in the middle of the road, and like my mom's friend like jumped out and like grabbed it super quick. And then I came out of the hospital all messed up in my brain, and then like they just handed me this kitten, and now she's sitting right there.
So you passed out, woke up, and you had a cat. There's worse ways to get new cats, I guess.
Yeah, and I wasn't really the biggest cat guy before, because I never really met like a super nice kitty, but that's like a nice cat. I dig that cat.
That's a damn fucking good looking cat you got over there.
Well, thank you, Sam. I appreciate it.
Majestic.
Love it.
What let's back to your car. So you're running your sweet ass S13, keeping the Roush Gates V8.
Yeah.
Which
is
by the
awesome.
way, we had a little bit of a talk before starting the show, and there's some confusion that I was part of such confusion thinking that Roush engine was a Mustang engine, and Matt was all like offended about that. So can you explain?
Well, I think we all understand the reputation that Mustang has achieved itself over the last few years. It's not like So
I've seen you running over people.
It's me.
No shame.
I've never hit nobody.
Really?
I never knocked a nobody.
A bunch. Dude, I'd never hit nobody. But
I never knocked no one.
So it's a NASCAR motor. Well, it's a dirt lathe modified motor. So kind of those more full body roundy round cars that you see that are on the dirt. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not like the whole big massive like wing cars and stuff. It's just it's like a full body car. And so it's a motor out of the professional series of that from I think like 2 series standards back or 1 series standard back. So it's like based off of like some 1964 Ford casting or something like it's the same motor casting or something from all those years back. So I really don't know too much about it. Like this is one of the few times where I'm like I wish I knew more about NASCAR.
Yeah.
What's the displacement in the cubic inch size?
It's a 410.
So I know
And
that
how many
it
liters?
sounds- Sorry, go on, Brian.
No, I was just because we talked about this. I didn't even know how many liters.
I think 410. So 7 liters.
Okay.
7 liters.
427. So 6,
Yeah,
8 or 9 or something.
And it sounds Vaughn's old motor from 2 years ago sounds almost identical to that. Do you know if it's the same motor? Like I still see Vaughn in my head coming around the corner because that's how I would work while shooting. Was like I'd hear his car before I could see it, and it still confuses me hearing you. So I mean, is that the same motor that he had, or what's the difference between those ones?
So yeah, so he got that motor when it was still a series standard. So I think he paid a much prettier penny than I did for mine. So like, it is the same motor. They now run what's like a 436 or something like that. I'm not necessarily sure exactly what motor, but it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, well, it sounds cool. I think it's my favorite sounding V8 in the series, and I'm happy to hear that still working out for you and making all the smokes that you need it to.
Yeah, I mean it's good. The only thing that's sad about these motors is that I can't make power. If I want to make extra power, I just can't.
It's already tapped out pretty much.
Yeah, so unless I wanted to go to like a bottle or something.
But it makes a sick NA like pretty much 800 horsepower reliably, right? Like that's its deal.
Yeah, actually, it's very reliable. The only thing, once again, is the drivability of it. Like the argument of like the motor just isn't drivable enough, like was always there. So like just the fact, like before I used to run this for my throttle body setup, it was a cable, but it was to like a 90-degree arm to pull both of the stack because it's the stacks, and so it has to pull both of those butterflies at the same time. And so like the linkage for it had this lever on it, and so it would pulling back on it, it would be a ton of pressure, and then all of a sudden it would get to 90 degrees, and then it would just flop back. But then like right about here is where it would start making power because it had to have been in the the higher RPMs to be able to make power. And then back then it made like 200 or 300 foot-pounds less than it did horsepower.
So how did that affect you as when driving while drifting sideways? Did it seem like the power would come on too much, or did you learn how to compensate for that?
I've learned like the amount of pedal movement that I have on that car is like nothing. It is absolutely nothing, and I always have to remember that when I go back and like because I have my Chevy LS car, that was my old Pro-Am car, and I always have to remember because it's got a conventional amount of pedal travel, and so this car has just got such limited pedal travel before it's wrapping out. So it's like I don't know, it's not the most controllable, but over the years, I mean, it's 4 years, I've gotten used to it.
Yeah. Do you find yourself when you're driving, are you giving wide open throttle pretty often, or you have to feather quite a bit?
No, it's just the like my crew dudes could not move that car around the pits just because it was so like if you tried to like slip the clutch, it would die, and then if you tried to give it more gas, it would literally like wrap out, and you're just trying to move a car around.
Right.
And then when you just like you look like a goon when you're like trying to just like move that thing around and like
Yeah. So sick. So are you making any big changes for 2018 still, or are you
Achilles
same? Yeah. Ooh, okay. So you've
going
already
to the fastest tire. Yeah, but I've already talked about that and whatnot.
Right. But it's
that
a first.
should be fun.
It's a first for Maximum Driftcast. The first time you've talked about it on Maximum. You heard it here first. It's a Matt Coffman original.
Yeah.
So how is that gonna compare to your previous tires? Is that feeling different for you? Have you tested them out yet?
Well, I drove on them back in Pro-Am, and I loved them, and I meant to come onto them in a Pro, but then yeah, that kind of like I brought on a new manager that forced me to go with Maxis, which I mean it was a good deal for me from Maxis, but the performance of a Maxis like compared to Achilles is just non-existent.
Yeah, well, it's weird to think that like Maxis and Hankook are no more now, but I'm happy to hear you made it out of the tire apocalypse and are sitting pretty there.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward for me. I luckily didn't sweat too much during all that. I know a lot of people were freaking out during it though.
Cool. I just pulled up your gram and I see is WiseFab's kit different this year, or is this what's new there?
Yeah, so they have a new fancy lock kit for the 13. Ardo, the owner of WiseFab, has been developing it with James Dean for the last 2 years or so, or more, longer than that or something like that. So
yeah.
It's a really fancy kit, honestly. I haven't put it on yet because I'm trying to decide. There's like this weird thing about a rack relocation kit. It's like you have to relocate the rack to be able to make this kit function. So that's to get away from the offset rack spacers. What was that, Paco?
That's the main difference with the Neo kit, right? That it allows to do the rack relocation where it gets kind of like tucked inside the subframe.
So like if you saw how old like setups where you had like you had the rack and then like you had the tie rod with an offset spacer that would bring it down. So like they just tried to get away from that offset spacer, so now it's direct tie rods to the rack. But I had already modified my subframe enough to the point where I already wasn't using offset spacers. No, Paco, no, it's two holes.
I'm trying to understand.
Paco seems very confused with his hand gestures here. So Matt Coffman, for the audio-only listeners, decided to try to show some sort of visual cue with a pen. Paco got confused and seems to be doing some PG-13.
I'm a confused teenager.
He's not confused at all. You got it.
No, I'm a confused teenager.
Still your high school grade.
Any other changes to the car that we can expect, or are you just staying tried and true and going with what works?
No, I'm pretty much I don't have a teammate this year, so Alec is of course doing the Huddy deal, which is going to be great for them and whatnot. That's going to be a solid team. So I'm going back to my Cummins and just like towing the whole thing around and doing the whole thing myself.
Smaller
I'm
trailer.
really excited about that.
Smaller trailer, lower cost.
Yeah, gooseneck, lower cost. And then personally, I never wanted to be in the semi truck just because from the get-go, I knew the negative impact it had on the sport and like just like causing folks to just feel like, well, why the hell? Like what? Like I have to have a big rig to be able to come into FD.
Whoa.
So
okay.
like, and I said that to everybody around me, huh?
Are you trying to say that people was hating on you because you had a big rig?
Oh, dude. Oh, the amount of that when I first showed up with that rig, the amount of like Facebook messages that I had gotten, just like of pure negativity, and it was something I never experienced before. Like going through grassroots and stuff, you don't experience people just like spending the effort to reach out to you to negatively impact you. Yeah. And so like that blew my mind, and I knew that was going to happen. I told that to everybody around me, but everybody was just like, no. Like, and I will admit it was a cheap rig. Like for what it is, like I will never be able to find a rig like that cheap again.
Yeah.
So it's like it wasn't. It's like for what people are going out there and getting these new F450s and stuff like that. Like I got that rig for way cheaper than people are buying those new 450s.
Really? Well, so, but that just means that just means you got lucky and you're smart.
Well, yeah, but still the lack of support that comes from that, and also I knew that I didn't deserve it. Like part of the dream of doing all this is that you start in like a tiny trailer, like going to grassroots, and then you go like tiny trailer to pro-am and stuff like that, and then like you get enough space to work pro. And then you work your way through that until you've earned yourself the ability to run in a big rig. And that's how I always view it, and that's how I still view it. And so, like, I knew I never deserved to be in that rig.
But weren't at that point, weren't you teammates with Turk?
Yeah, and that was sweet because he actually was, like, a really cool influence, and he was, like, honestly, Turk is one of, like, the most, like, people in the sport, personally. Like, I don't know, he seemed, like, I can have more of a conversation with that dude than I can, like, with a lot of the other folks in FD.
Now that I have to see him almost every day.
You just
no, I'm kidding. No, he's good. I think it's awesome. And Turk right now is doing the same shit as you. He's solo boloing, putting his car together. So it's fun to see. Fun. Like there's not that I don't know what it means necessarily bigger picture for the sport, but I think it's actually kind of cool that a lot of the bigger name dudes that at one time maybe had a full race team are kind of getting dirty themselves right now. They're wrenching on their own cars. And granted, there's going to be a team at the events, and there's going to be, widespread support. But right now in these mid stages, I don't want to say we're early stages because FD Long Beach is still kind of coming up fast. But like his mid stages, all these drivers that I know are putting together their cars themselves right now, which is pretty sweet to see.
Well, and to be honest, like I gotta say something, I feel like Matt Field's pretty brave building that car this late in the season, and he's doing it like with just him and his pops.
I feel like it's brave for this season, but I mean this is kind of like standard shit for past seasons. I feel like dudes were like building new chassis all the way up until the day of Long Beach, pretty common. But I feel like this season, a lot of people, I think that maybe I want to say it's part of the James Dean effect. Is like people are maybe less so trying new risks and crazier shit, and they're like dialing in their current shit, and hopefully we see people focusing again on kind of being more competitive. Not to discount what Matt Field's doing with a new chassis, and I imagine he's still going to be pretty competitive in that thing. But it's just I'm happy to see that a lot of dudes seem to be keeping it pretty dialed and not making huge changes and just refining to try to combat these new foreign invaders that have taken the title. So
yeah.
But what you had a pretty fucking good season 2017. You were top 10. That's your best finish yet, I think, or
Yeah, wasn't too bad. Qualified second that one time in Texas, and I got a fourth, and then I got a sixth place. So it's still not a podium, but it's coming.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Have you gotten a podium yet, or are you still itching for that?
No, I said I ain't got no podium.
No, but I mean at all. I thought you got a podium at some point.
No.
Where was that? Seattle this 2017, or was that 2016 when you went far?
I got fourth place in Seattle last year, and then 2 years ago, and then I got sixth place in Seattle this last year.
Where was your fourth place this year?
When I wasn't allowed to run in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That sucked.
Yeah, it was.
I was pulling for you, dude.
So the tow truck drivers are trained, and I mean, a lot of people were mad at them, and even some of my crew dudes. And it's like I understand because it's their job is to sit there, and if some shit goes down, they have to run over the car and hit the kill switch, and it's like that's what has to happen. And so they had hit the electrical cutoff switch on the outside, which cuts my PDM, like my brain and stuff. And so when the clock was 4 seconds away, we set the car down, and I went to start the car, and I had no electrical, and it's because
that moment I forgot about that.
Yeah, he shut the brain off, and we didn't know about it, and then it went 5 seconds over the FD clock, and it was just because I didn't have the electricals cutoff switch on, and FD still told me no.
Yeah, we had a whole discussion on the show after that about when to fudge the rules and when to stick to them. I forget, Pocket, do you remember who we talked to? We talked to an FD personnel. Was it Sage or someone after that?
We were trying to talk to Kevin, but I can't remember if we got a hold of him or not. But I mean, just if it's at least a little bit of consolation, getting a trophy doesn't really it's not really that big of a deal. I mean,
nice,
it's
Where'd you get that?
It's no big deal. He just found it. He just found it.
No, the podium a couple times. I mean.
So for the audio-only people, Paco is holding is that a third place or second place trophy?
I think that's the third.
It's the third
place. It's some driver's third place trophy from.
Somebody gave you that?
We don't want to talk about it.
We earned it.
Talking about. There's these drivers out there that are such dicks. They're like, get over here.
Yeah, these
dickhead I would like. Well, dude, they treat, and then they're assholes to me. It's ridiculous.
Wait, who's
an asshole to you?
Well, dude, I am dude, when it comes to a lot of those folks, first off, man, I don't even want to
get into
people
it.
watching this nonsense and stuff like that.
Matt's getting lit.
Well, it's just so I tend to keep pretty to myself around the pits just because I'm personally a lot different from a lot of the other drivers. There are a lot of them are in your face and pretty egotistical and stuff, and I try to not do that as much as possible. And I remember Kearney. Dean Kearney, he was in my face at Irwindale 2 years ago, and I smoked cigarettes, and I had one cigarette left. And for any of you who are friends with smokers or are a smoker yourself, that one cigarette, that last cigarette, is sacred. And so I'm trying to quit smoking cigarettes.
Oh, good.
But so Dean is in my face. He was like, why? He was like, you act like an asshole in the drivers' meetings, and you act like an asshole everybody everywhere else. And I'm just like, I just keep to myself. I'm not being an asshole. And then like he sits there and he's calling, and he was like, why don't you mark it as yourself as an asshole? And I'm like, because I'm not an asshole. And then like he goes on and tells me this forever, and then he was like, give me a cigarette. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna. After you did all this, I'm not gonna give you my last cig. And then all of a sudden, I was like, all right, fine, take my last cigarette. And he was like, you know what, you're not a bad guy. And then like that was the end of it, and he like walked off, and I was like, sick, dude. So it's like that's what a lot of the FD is. It's just
but
like
I think
that sort of shit.
I think that's just a little bit of Irish love.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, no, it's and then like, well, so I don't care if like because Dean doesn't give a fuck if I tell that story. Like I don't care. But there's other drivers that I would love to like talk about that I'm just like, damn, dog, like. But there are drivers that are incredible. Pat Gooden, unfortunately, he's gone, but he was a good friend of mine in FD. Like, that's a normal ass dude right there.
Yeah, we love Catt Footen.
Jeff Jones is also a normal ass guy. Like, he's a regular guy. Like, people like Turek is a good dude. Like, I don't know. There's just like people that seem like more. But I don't know. That could just be me and whatnot. So.
Oh, funny thing. Jeff Jones is just commenting right there. He's saying, "Oh, tell me about the sunset."
It says, tell me about the sunset.
Tell me about the sunset.
Oh, yeah. One time I was sitting there watching a sunset in New Jersey, and Jeff started throwing rocks at me and like hit me with rocks.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. That really
Yeah.
supports your nice guy theory there.
Oh yeah, Jeff, good guy.
From now on, every time we see a sunset, we just have to throw rocks.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Dude, just try not to hit me in the head. I've been hitting the head with rocks throughout my growing up. That's who I am.
God. So what's your 2018 strategy? How can you improve as a driver? What's your shortcoming right now?
Well, I think there was a lot of stuff like that before. Just because things in my past that over the last like years or 4 years that I just don't feel the need to really talk about any longer. So just things that I like. A lot of the dudes at FD, they got teams behind them, like the winning dudes. They know that the team's behind them and that the team believes in them and that like everybody's out there for the same common purpose and whatnot. And that builds and makes part of the whole winning formula. You know, it's like you can't like. So I just felt like just my team really wasn't behind me in the past, and like I would be like, yo, dudes, I'm like the car is like doing this, we should do this, and they would kind of just like either mock me or just like tell me why I'm wrong, even though I had like it's standard knowledge to drift kids. It's like just because I'm me, they would just be like, nah, like whatever. So it's like that was kind of iffy.
What do you mean just because you're you?
Well, just because I'm a young kid and because the way I came into FD, that's the thing that was so crappy is that there was like the only people who know the difference were the people that watched me through Pro Am and stuff and were there. And like when I got to FD, they were like, what the hell is going on here? So it's because like I got taken off of my suspension. I got taken like from a non-seam welded chassis to a seam welded chassis, which I personally think it changes grip up. And then like I got changed off the tires and stuff like that. So like that ruined my confidence for a long time. And then, but me coming into it so poorly and putting on such a poor showing, that's the like first impressions thing. It's like first impressions matter. And it's like when you come on and you suck so bad and you're in a big rig and stuff like that, then it's like.
Oh, you're saying your first year you sucked bad?
Oh, dude. Well, a lot of my years, there's very few runs throughout the first 2 to 3, even like last year that I watch where I'm not disappointed in myself or I'm not embarrassed about it in some way, shape, or form because that's not me comfortably as a driver.
I feel like you're fucking hard on yourself, man. I mean, let's look at your top 10 finish last year. You did better than Forsberg, the most winningest driver in FD. You did better than Kearney,
but not by his own hand.
Yeah, regardless, but Kearney, Denofa, Pollock. Honadell, the gun like you, Matt Field, he sucks, but just kidding, we like Matt. There's tons of dudes that did much less good than you, and you're not a fucking little dumb kid anymore. You know how to drive.
Right now, we have a Luke Fink on the comments. It's pretty much saying, "Fuck winning, just win by doing rad shit."
Yeah,
and
that's
I think that's what you're doing.
Go ahead.
Yep. Go ahead.
But winning does matter.
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, winning does matter. I mean, like, of course, like, I want to win, but over the last 4 years, being surrounded by negativity, not only by myself, but also people that, like, I was in the big rig, like, negativity there and whatnot, And like it not only like drifting was no longer fun, and I just like I didn't really go out to fun events, and I was just like driving by myself all the time, and it wasn't fun. And that's really why I want to go back to the gooseneck and just do everything myself, was because back when I was doing everything myself, I was having a blast. And it's like that's why we all got into this in the first place. And then like not even the formula drift part of things, like we just got into the formula drift part of things because like we got so in depth with what we loved doing that there was a professional side of what it was that we could do. So I mean, I think a lot of us gravitated to FD.
Yeah.
So, but
that's cool though to know that you're going back to what made you happy in the first place, and you're gonna find that again. And I imagine as long as your car is set up in a way that it works for you, you're gonna do even better.
Yeah, I'm like stoked, dude. I'm gonna have so much fun. And then like this year, this is what I was talking to Paco about this earlier. I'm trying to get a Volvo 240 sedan. I don't think I want to do a wagon, but I'm trying to like start doing like a mountain rally drift like video series sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just, like,
I have 4 words for you, buddy.
Yeah, what up?
Wagon or get the fuck out.
That's about
I
right.
own exclusively wagons, dude. Do you know I have an R31 wagon. I got 2 Subaru wagons. I got hatchbacks really, I guess.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, hold on. Let's get into this fleet because I know Paco
Yeah.
won't let us get past these weird cars. So you got what's your R31 wagon?
It's a Skyline R31 wagon.
Yeah, tell me about that. What's that deal?
It's my buddy Dylan Kane, the import guys. He's a kid who got into importing up in Washington just because he's straight up just loves driving like these weird JDM cars around.
Yeah.
And he got me it super cheap. He already had it imported and whatnot, but it's just a green R31 wagon with a carbureted CA18. So it made 72 crank horsepower from the factory. So now I think it makes like 40 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's street legal in America. I know it's old enough to be,
yeah.
but yeah, you got it legalized. Hell
Do,
yeah.
do you have nice
100%,
wheels?
yeah.
Do you have nice wheels on it at all?
It's got I haven't put any. I'm like trying to find trim pieces for it and stuff, and there's like rust in some areas that I'm like trying to take care of before that destroys me.
Because I'm sure
So, like,
I'm sure you know Jason Farron's that mint R31 wagon.
Jason?
Yeah, it's
in Australia.
yeah, I think it's Australia. Yes, it must be in Australia.
Yeah,
that thing
big
is
blue
so yeah, like a mint blue.
I know, I know that car, and I want to talk to him to figure out how we got, because I kind of want to turn it into like a mountain touring car. Like I want to try it because the R31 was a great touring car. So I want to see if I can like make it as much of a touring car as possible, and I want to keep the CA in it, and then I want to do like a high revving trumpeted build on it and make like 160 horsepower.
Nice.
Just 160 very angry, very loud horsepower.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it'd be a blast.
Paco, the Australian one you're talking about, is that the one that Turk drove during the Turk episode long ago?
Oh,
Did Ryan drive it?
I remember editing a Turk to Australia.
Brian,
I remember him driving.
can you pull up?
I don't know if it's the same one.
Oh, dude.
Pull up Jason Farron's 1JC R31 wagon real quick.
I don't remember if that was
we can
the
show it
car
on-
that I edited, but I remember seeing a really cool R31 in that video.
And he's got flares on that car, I think,
Yep.
too, or a wide body.
Yeah, that thing is sick. It's pretty mean.
It honestly is sick. Well, I want to know what he's done to the rear end for suspension, because I've heard of some people just swapping 13 rear ends into them, but they have that live axle in the back.
Oh, so those came with live axle?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like Forsberg's wagon, the little Datsun wagon, like that one had a solid axle as well.
Yeah, so I mean all of them did back then, really.
Huh. So just the wagons had the solid axle for.
No. I think all cars from. I mean, well.
Every
no.
car
Like
previously.
80. Well, no. It's just like, man, a lot of those old cars were solid rears, weren't they?
That's Farron, Ferron, right?
Just search for R31 wagon.
Is
drift.
it like a teal blue
Yes.
with some stripe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got it.
When did Independent start really coming around in Japan?
I don't know, but Matt, all I can say is that you've got a solid rear end.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Boom!
I'm trying to get money to pay to watch it. That's what I'm funding the season this year, is through my cam show.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, dude. Everybody's doing it nowadays.
Yeah, everyone's cam whoring. You might as well get into the biz. So what other you got in the garage? You said you got some Subaru wagons and some other weird shit.
There's that.
Yeah, I have.
There's that wagon on screen right now. You guys can see it. Is that the same
okay,
one?
Okay,
that
yeah,
guy.
I don't think
That's
that
the
was the one
one.
that Turk drove. That's a different
Okay.
one. But that thing
So
looks
he's
freaking
got
sick.
so that's the Type 2 front grill and headlights, or as far as what I understand, I don't know too much about what the Type 1 and Type 2 is or whatnot, but like mine's got more of like a folded over hood, where it actually like comes down into the grill portion of that. What would be on that?
Well,
Doing a terrible
we can nerd on drift wagons all day long if you want, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to do something, but it's like, once again, dude, an R31 wagon, I would love to drift it. I think it would be way too much fun, but if I was to just damage it, if I was to like just like tap something in the back once, it would be such a sad day. Like, I'm trying to find just this one trim piece for the outside, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Like, you can't really feel good about missing one of those older cars that's harder to fix.
Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna hot boy it and like do it like a mountain car out of it.
Oh yeah. And what else is in your arsenal there? You said you got some Subaru wagons and other weird stuff.
Yeah, I have a daily STI that I've had for many.
Oh,
many
daily
years.
STI dudes, what's up, bro?
Oh, you do, dude? Yo, what year, yo?
Yeah, 04, dog.
Oh, okay. There you go. I got a super cheap 08 back in the day.
Hawkeye, that's legit. That's legit. If that's your new, sure, dude. I'm blah blah.
Whoa! It's a wagon. 08.
Oh, 08. Oh, I'm thinking
That
07. All right, you're
actual wagon.
Never mind. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, no, you're all right. You're all right. I would love to have a Hawkeye though, honestly, but.
Oh wait, that's the ugly year.
No.
The hatchback, I like the
I
hatchback.
know. No, the STIs actually had defender flares. The base WRXs that year had like the real shitty.
Yes.
body.
Yeah, and that was, I agree. Yeah, and I actually like that Subaru did that. There's not very many.
Oof. Somebody in the comments is calling you out, Sam, like big time.
Where?
What? Sam's WRX is dumb.
Sam?
What? My WRX is dumb, man.
No, that's Mr. Vincent, and Rick Vincent is the most troll motherfucker on the planet. Vincent.
We all hate Patrick Vincent.
No, I want to.
We hate him.
That's Rick Vincent. I don't
But
give a
he
fuck.
changed his name now.
My STI is kind of ruined. Like, it is not made for LA driving. It is lowered on work wheels, and it hits everything. I ripped off my bumper twice. Like,
Wait. Is Luke Fink talking about taillights right there?
Yep, he sent you 100 sets for $50.
Oh, dude.
You
amazing.
scored.
I'm sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's fine. Just talk about whatever you want. It's your show.
No. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Don't be.
As I was saying, what do you think about unruining my STI? I wanna like maybe like get rid of my slammed T and coilovers and get some like dirt spec, and then put some like 13-inch OZ wheels on it. Like let's make it weird. Like, I want to raise it up. Like, I'm tired of lowered stuff, and I want to go to like King of Hammers, and take like raised up rally STI over there, shit on all the Raptors.
Well, are you thinking about doing like full rally tires, or are you
No, just survive LA
like
potholes.
Yeah, just something that will get over the LA potholes would be sweet.
I mean, personally, dude, like I know a lot of people, but like I have my Subaru just set up the way that it has been for forever, but I can still get everywhere that I please and like fit out of any sort of situation. I don't hit stuff, so it's like that's honestly like slammed. I appreciate the artwork. Honestly, I do. I want to do something artistic with my Skyline, but man, dude, when you can't even like get out of a driveway, it's
my driveway is a fucking battle every day, and I'm not even hella slammed. Like, I'm just like a 2.5-inch lower over stock, but it's almost impossible to get around LA like that.
Well, Sam, let me tell you about one time I had this big old fancy carbon lip on my SUV back in the day, and I did have it lowered, and it probably sat like 6 or 7 inches in front of my bumper, and like there was a like I had to come to a stop sign and go across an intersection, and I had to angle over to get up the other side, like without taking this thing out, and I look over to the right down the street, and there is a soccer mom doing 60 miles an hour in a neighborhood, and she's on her phone, and she's going to hit slam into the side of me so hard. Yeah, do you see this? Yeah, and like I had to just go into the divot, dude, and just like it just like destroyed that thing. But she just barely missed me. So
she
like, it was worth
blasted
it. Yeah, 100%.
Sick.
Sad day.
So you got your daily STI in 08. What else you got in your garage?
And then I have an 08 rally car that is my absolute pride and joy.
Ooh.
What's up with that? Tell me about that thing.
That is just a 08 super production car. It was a Vermont sports car, so it's super well built. I got it for a steal for what it is, but I stopped winning trophies because I started doing FD, but I kept rallying the Subaru, and like I don't think you can see them, but like
we can see them a bit.
Small little trophies over yonder, like like those have all come from that Subaru over there. So she is very, very dear to my heart. I love her.
I don't know. I don't know anything about keeping trophies dear to your heart at all.
Paco really earned that third place.
I earned it.
That blows my mind.
Trophy.
I totally earned this.
We're holding it hostage.
Earned it by submission.
Drinking from these things is the most disgusting thing ever.
Well, also it's super unsafe because I don't know if you know this, but carbon fibers are incredibly bad for your lungs and your stomach lining, believe it or not. So
I'd figure.
Yeah, you should really wash those things out before you drink out of them, or just maybe never drink out of them because it could.
And that worried me because Matt Field took his podium in Texas, I think, a couple years back, and he like forced me to drink out of that thing, and he was like, "I didn't win my first trophy until I drank from Chris Forsberg's cup." So my brain was all like, "Matt, if you don't drink from that cup right now, you're never gonna win a trophy."
Yeah,
so I drank from it, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, I just drank a bunch of carbon. Like, that's no good.
Yeah, and now you're 1 part carbon and 4 parts field, or 1 part carbon, 1 part field, 4 parts coughing your lungs up.
It's just your fiber diet for the year, pretty much.
There you go.
An all fiber diet.
Yeah. Keep the doctor away. Sam was talking about keeping doctors away earlier.
One day I'll have one of those.
So wait, I'm confused. Does the cat stay at the shop, or does it come home with you? Do you take him to and from work with you?
No, so it's like the shop is my pop's place. When my pops passed away, I like inherited his shop, and it was like a barn, like an old barn that he had at his house. Yeah. So I'm pretty much. So the cat stays in this room at all times. I wish she'd come over here, but she's like chilling right now.
That's all right. We understand.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's so I wish I could show.
Hey, please go ahead and give us a tour around the.
Yeah.
He's not mobile.
Yeah, he is.
No, what?
You are mobile?
I am mobile. Well, sort of. I mean, I can be mobile, but so it's like, I mean, we got the office here, but out here, that's the old shop.
I see the old drift car.
Yep, look at her. She's nice and pretty, isn't she? And then I don't know if you can see her, but that's the edge of the Subaru.
That looks like a pile of newspaper.
Yeah, it sounds really loud. You don't want to do that, but
yeah, no.
You're getting close up with the cat.
Oh.
Yeah, why don't you put the camera in the cat?
The audience speaking. They want more cat. Oh, there you go.
Hey, good looking. Hi, Georgia.
Welcome to Maximum Drift Cats, the only drifting podcast that brings you feline 24/7 every day, all day.
It's a good kitty. I like that kitty.
I'm not mad at that.
It looks like we have one here.
You don't have to reveal any of course big secret things, but do you have like big livery changes for 2018? Are you gonna keep it tactical?
If anybody knows my boring stuff, I just like kind of flip flop. So I'm doing like this year I'm doing like a black nose, obviously, but then the rest of the body is chrome. So it's like. Oh, I think it pops a lot harder than the years prior. I haven't shown anything yet, and I don't know if I want to show anything.
You don't have to, but if you want to, whatever. Man.
Yeah, you can have an exclusive.
Do it.
Now you know how you can win. Yeah, how can you win for sure? If you get like a brown nose.
What?
Nice.
What?
I think Paco's trying to make puns. He's still new at puns. Just give him some.
Instead of a black nose, just get a brown nose. It'll get you places.
No, the only way you're going to win is if you get an edible arrangement nose and you crash into the judges' stands and then have them eat those arrangements.
Oh, so what is the deal with Robbie coming back to do like racing like help or something like this? Have you guys?
We don't know.
That's classified.
If we did, we couldn't talk about him. But we have heard that Robbie Nishida might be making a comeback of sorts.
Right. Okay.
But we know nothing, and we can't talk about it if we did know something.
Fair enough.
Stop running our show, man.
Yeah, Matt.
It was a nice segue. That was a nice segue
there. So yeah. So a whole lot of fancy stuff. So I'm gonna try to I'm gonna film everything that goes on next year, and I'm gonna try my best to use all of my movie knowledge to put something half decent together. I understand if anybody is watching this right now, besides like the 8 people that are.
What do you say? 48 live viewers 48? Right now. You jackass.
Okay. Well, I don't know, dude.
And there's gonna be 3 to 10,000 in the next week. So you better watch what the fuck you say.
Yeah, there's over 600 on YouTube.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't. No, I got stage fright. Well,
Yeah.
I don't even remember what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
Come on.
good.
You wanted to show us your library.
Oh, no. So if anybody, honestly, that's listening to this has ever wanted to, like, you know what? I think I know how that I could edit a video together, and then it just like doesn't have the courage themselves to just pick up the camera and just like film something and edit it together. I understand that. I get that. Honestly, like that's the hardest thing for me to like get around right now. It's just like doing that.
Yeah,
But-
well, it is actually really easy to get started, but it's hard to be really good, I would say. But I encourage everyone to edit and play around with cameras in
Same.
Premiere and or whatever, but also don't get good enough to take my job. So.
Sam, nobody can replace you.
Oh,
Oh, he's
thanks.
totally expendable.
No, I mean the good news is that at least as far as my job security is concerned, is that cameras keep on getting better and better, and iPhone videos are awesome, and GoPro POV videos are awesome. But just because you can take a sweet video footage like of a single clip doesn't mean you're a good storyteller, and that's what you need to practice
Bingo.
at. And you may never actually have that, but storytelling is a difficult part, and thankfully for now, kind of good at it, and it's hard to do.
Right.
So we'll see.
Well-
We'll see. Maybe there's going to be an AI algorithm in 10 years that can make a better story.
Make
than
stories.
Marley and Me.
But
not
I
until-
hope not.
Marley and Me, though, is probably the perfect story, right, Matt?
You know, I would say I like the book a lot.
Did you read the book Marley and Me? I was joking.
No.
All right. You said you're a film dude. Do you watch a lot of films?
I do. I used to watch a lot more film, but like recently I've been watching just like a lot of like self-produced content from
Like what?
people and whatnot.
What are you watching?
Oh well, just like random like well, a lot recently I've been watching a lot of independent music videos and just like seeing what a lot of just like these random kids that have no, I don't know, backing behind them, but have been able to like produce some actually really good content for like just a stupid music video, really. Just
Yeah.
like kind of just simple things like that I've been interested in. Just seeing what like other kids are like able to create, just I don't know, just be able to conjure.
Oh, we made a
And
music
what's-
video.
What's your idea for making entertaining FD content with just you behind the camera and you doing it?
Yeah, that's where it's gonna get iffy. I'm gonna try to like make pretty stuff, but then also make really troll stuff sometimes, really memey stuff. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
But
man, I think that's cool. I
kinda
encourage.
make sure- yeah.
I encourage all FD people to take the shot at just doing cool media like Medfield is doing now and Forsberg's doing now, and I mean just kind of getting out there as we discussed a little bit before the show. Like my place as a big heavy camera dude like is having less and less of a role in just the day-to-day goings on at FD, and I'm not sad about that. Like it's cool. I'd rather have a more intimate personal look into all of your lives than just like a red cam shooting slow-mo porn on track. Like, I want to
Well,
see
and so
what goes on behind the scenes just as much, if not more.
right, and see, I'm gonna have my homie Russo like come around and help me out this year, so he can still, because obviously I can't film out of car stuff. So like he'll help me out in getting like out of car shots for like videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Patrick Vincent
So,
is
I'll-
recommending to watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
That's a great film, dude. Honestly,
good movie.
Like,
It's a good movie.
yeah, and
Did-
the soundtrack is really good. I
Did
like
you
it, too.
cry?
What's
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to make a lot of my own soundtrack too.
what's oh you mess around with the music?
Yeah, I got a synthesizer.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it'll try to be as original as possible.
That's exciting though if you're making your own tunes. Like do you gonna rap over them or what kind of tunes? Here?
I could. We could do. I like.
Mom
beats.
spaghetti.
I don't know. I don't. You're. Dude, all my raps are just so troll. That's all they are. I don't know.
So you do
like, real-
troll raps?
Your lyrical skills are inferior.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Drop some bars.
No, that's the only bar I have.
Do it.
You could rhyme that with. All right, where do we go?
That's
next?
from something
Rhyme
else.
it.
That's from who says that? KRS says that in a Lord Finesse song.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar.
For people who don't know, Sam is actually like very good at dropping like random bars. I mean, he can
Is
make
he?
a rap about Matt Coffman right now on the spot. Are you,
Oh,
re-
no,
you-
I
are you
don't
guys
wanna
ready
hear
for this?
I probably could.
Sam?
But, one time I had far too many beers, and my buddies recorded me doing a rap about Nazi Germany. that went on for about 5 minutes, and I think it was pretty strong, but I don't know if it's PC.
I wonder.
But
I wonder if that will ever make it to YouTube or something.
God, I hope
No.
not.
End of your career.
I
Only-
mean, it
only
wasn't-
if you
it
run
wasn't
for
like- it
office.
wasn't- I don't want to say it was bad in content. It's just probably bad in its flowing.
No, it was good. It
Lyrical.
was very catchy. I was like,
Thank you.
I was feeling the second right.
Wait, what?
Was that the second right?
You have the right to feel the right, but it's not right.
Wait, you guys opened an episode with a battle once at one point?
I mean, I don't want to say that we've had off-camera rap battles, but they have occurred. It just depends on the time and the place, and let's just say that if you want to challenge me to a rap battle, it might occur at some point.
It was pretty violent.
We'll see. We'll see what happens at the after hours at Formula Drifter, Wendale, or in between.
I'm calling this right now. Long Beach after hours. We have you and Sam Nalvin versus Matt Coffman. There's gonna be a rap face-off.
Dude, I'm so down. Hey,
Perfect.
let's talk about something. Does
Yes.
anybody know what this Minnesota place is like? This new speedway?
The new
St. Louis?
Speedway.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Live in
yeah.
Minnesota,
Sorry.
come on, Matt.
Sorry. I don't know. I don't know until I have to go there.
I don't have a direct line on what it is, but from people that I've spoken to that are in the area, I think that it's going to be cool. And I know that the local fans of that area are super pumped to finally have an event near them. So, but I have no idea about the track, so I can't give you any spoilers for the track unless Paco or anyone else can.
I haven't been there, man, but I'm excited about checking it out.
I heard it's like a really good road course or something like that they're going to use for.
Yeah, it's not an oval, so there's
Right.
It's like a fast
Almost
track
like
from
in
what I've heard.
Texas.
Like a Texas, but better from what I've heard.
Oh really? All right, cool.
Yeah, like a lot of the people who has mentioned that have been at that racetrack, they're like, dude, like that place is like fast. Like it's gonna be a great round for sure.
What's up? This is my Amazon box cutting knife, and I realize it's covered in Amazon box things. So sorry. I guess it's kind of creepy. I guess if I'm cleaning a knife on screen when I'm talking to you. Not that it implies that.
What
I
are you
understand
planning?
one. But yeah, I have a dedicated Amazon box knife. Suck it. What's your favorite track to drive right now?
Oh god. In pro or just for funsies?
Both.
Pro. Yeah, both. But start with pro.
In pro, that's a hard one. I would say Seattle for the good times. And for just like all out I really do like Texas.
Really?
Texas is I like road, like high speed, like road course sort of stuff.
Yeah, man.
The,
Most everyone seems to hate Texas, but you like Texas.
Well, I just like because when I started driving, like I drove a skid pad, but then like I started going to the Thunderhill open track days. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to Thunderhill, but you can do like 120, 130. Like me and Luke Longberger were doing like 130-mile-an-hour entries on that thing,
Nice.
like on the front straight and stuff. It's like a super fun place. I learned how to like backwards entry there, and like so I just like road courses, I think.
Yeah.
So this is you're talking about Luke Lumberger with a Corvette.
Luke Lomberger, Corvette
Yeah.
driver, back before it was cool.
Yep. Way back in the day. Yeah, way back before it was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So I guess now it's officially cool. Everybody's drift vets.
Well,
vets,
it's cool now
vets.
that you're trying to do it, Paco.
Ah, god damn it.
What?
Yeah, I
Or
saw a
is that-
picture of you
Am I-
working on
am-
that thing in the
What?
street.
What was that?
Yeah. Paco works on his cars in the street in the trailer. It's not. It's not cool. Is it cool? Is that cool? I don't know.
Well, I like it. You can take it straight to the track.
Well,
There you go. You work
thank
on
you.
it, take it straight to the track. Don't even have to take it. All right, that is pretty cool.
I feel better now. Totally worth the suntan. Because I don't know if you know, but here in Arizona, you get a tan if you are outside in January.
Oh, see, I'm not tan. I
Yeah,
don't know
he-
if you can still.
I think that if our little buddy Macaulay over here ever goes in the sun, he's just gonna turn into crispy ash. I don't think you tan. You probably go straight from 0 to cancer. Right?
Spontaneous
Dude,
combustion.
forever ago, man, it was so sad when I first went and see my first year. This is another mental thing. It was just like people are kind up here. Like you got a lot of really, not tan folks. So when you go to some place where people aren't tan, people don't make a fuss about it. And
Yeah.
so like when I was sponsored by Maxus back in the day. The second round of FD came around, and we were in Georgia. And at that time, I barely have had any time to actually get in the sun. Like summertime has just started to roll around back home. And I get to Atlanta, and my sponsor, the guy who sponsored me, comes up to me, and he was like, "Oh," he was like, "You look a lot better." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" And he was like,
better?
"Oh, well, yeah." He was like, "In Long Beach, you just look so sick."
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You look so pale. You almost look like a zombie." Like he was just like, "God, dude. Okay, man. Yeah, I get it." So I get people get pretty intense about how pale I am.
Yeah, but you're PNW blood, and I feel like you guys don't have to get tan up there. It's cool to not be tan.
No, all of our driving roads are up in the clouds and stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You got a beautiful overcast culture up there. Paco, do you have any more hot boy questions for us, dude, before we get to Grims?
Every question for Coffman is a hot boy question, Sam.
That's right.
Should know by now. It's mostly because of his answers. His answers are hot, like the bars that you're about to drop on his ass.
Look, it's not time to drop bars while talking about cars. We got to get to these grams, fam.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It seemed like he got ready for something.
All right, are we doing grams or what?
Let's do some grams.
All right.
There's a lot of questions for the Catt Moffmam.
All right, so we'll start with the top. The first person to leave a comment was Max Frolic. He says, ideas for next chassis. Do you have an idea for what your next car might be if you decide to make a next car, or is it forever going to be an S13?
Well, I think that FD is at, and I haven't heard, this isn't official, don't take this with a grain of salt, but I think that FD is going to instate a 25-year rule here pretty soon.
Whoa, where'd you hear that? We haven't heard that.
I literally haven't heard that. I think that they're going to do that personally.
Oh,
like,
you personally feel like they're going to?
Yeah, like that's not for this season, and I mean, if it was going to be even for 2019, you would figure they would have already taken the time to tell all of us who will be an illegitimate chassis at that point.
Illegitimate chassis. It's a funny term there. But I mean, right now, how many people are in S13? Or I mean, there's you. There's Nate Hamilton. Who is Nate running this year?
No, Nate dropped out halfway through last year.
He dropped out just at Irwindale.
The very last round, he didn't show up.
Oh, was it just the last round?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
So,
that was a shame.
You, Nate, Pat is not running. Are you the last fucker in an S13?
I think they are. There's a couple S14s left, and that's it.
Yeah, there's a 14, 214. Oh no, Jeff Jones is in a 350.
Jeff Honadale.
Odie is keeping it real. The S14 life. And
Federico Serifo's got an S14.
But he's not coming to FD with
Federico Serifo, it's just an S14 as well.
Yeah, that's the body kit, right?
Yeah, it just looks like a Ferrari.
Yeah, so Juha S14 and
I think Juha's out for this year.
Is he?
What?
Yeah.
But he had an S15, dude.
I think that
Oh yeah, he was S15.
Yeah, he did an S15. Yeah.
Matt Fields S14 is out. Honadale's had an S14.
We
saw.
So
we're getting rid of the S chassis. I can't imagine Odie's going to be in one much longer.
Oh, actually, yeah, Odie is bringing his back.
Yeah, but I really can't see that car being his main car for much longer. I feel like he's got to change it for 2019. But what do I know?
I think we should do like a poll. Like, what do you guys think Odie Backshis is going to bring next time instead of an S14?
Well, if his teammate Matt Field has success in a Corvette, maybe Matt will want to build another Corvette and make one for him.
Yeah.
So what is your car for a next chassis, Matt?
I'm thinking about BMWs. I'm not sure exactly which chassis. A lot of them tend to be like 103-inch wheelbase, which I didn't know. It's like a commonality. A lot of those cars are 103 inches.
They're long.
What does that mean for you?
Yeah.
Is that good? Is that bad?
Yeah, I mean, I learned personally, like like the only reason I know how to drift is because like when my dad got in his accident, like I inherited his Dodge Ram, it was just like a it was just a SLT, well, like not even a Hemi with like the chip in it, and I just like went and drove that thing up around in the mountains and stuff. So I like a long wheelbase, and I think they're more stable and whatnot. So I mean, I'd be down. I don't know what like the WiseFab setup is for like a lot of those cars, but I know that the WiseFab for BMWs have adjustable rear squat.
So if you weren't going to do a 3 Series or a 5 Series, what BMW would you do?
Maybe a 2 Series or maybe the new 4 Series. But I would want to find a Hurricane car because I really do not want to just buy one of those chassis and like.
Yeah.
Just,
well, I was trying to get away from like the 3 Series, 5 Series, but then I forgot totally that the BMW product line has now gotten so confusing and convoluted. Yeah. So I was trying to stay away from. Yeah, of an uncommon BMW, what would you do? Would you do like the Z4 Michael SS? Try it out. Would you try like an old
maybe 8 Series? Like an Assetto bubble. I could get an Assetto bubble to work. And then maybe I don't know. No, see. The
M1 is a pretty good chassis.
Yeah,
I also thought
rare.
about the 1 Series.
Yeah, the 1 Series.
The only thing,
are
the
cool.
1 Series I think have a kind of a weird looking back half.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird looking car. I think it's kind of frumpy at times, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they're phenomenal. My buddy just bought one of those, and even it's just like a 135i, but it has launch control on it, and that thing scoots. Like I could not believe how much fun that thing was.
Yeah.
Andy Hadley is suggesting a 4 Series, but I don't know. Like, dude, those cars are pretty expensive. Come on, Andy,
get a
grip.
New ones, the brand new 4 Series, which is the 3 Series now, because the 3 Series is a 4-door, and I can't keep track.
Yeah, and the 6 Series, there was a 2-door and a 4-door.
It's hyper confusing now, right? Like the 4 Series is now the 2-door. The 3 Series is a 4-door. What's a 2 Series?
No.
It's a 2-door little tiny coupe.
You could always get a 3 Series and a 2-door or 4-door.
Not anymore. Now it's called the 4 Series.
4 Series is a 2-door. The 3 Series is a 4-door.
Unless you get a 3 Series convertible, then you get a 2-door 3 Series. Yeah, it's the dumbest.
Sexy is actually the 6 Series Grand, like a Grand Sport.
Oh yeah, because you have the 6 Series 2-door, and you also have the 6 Series GT, which is a 4-door.
No, you can get a 4-door 6. No, you can get a 4-door 6 Series under the Grand Sport.
Yes. I thought that's what I said.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Sorry.
All right, moving on. This is actually a really good question from Pistonhead Productions. What has been your biggest barrier breaking into the top 4 on a regular basis? Mechanical issues, more seat time, budget? What's been your wall with going past that top 4?
I think it's a lot of mind and also setup on the car. I always had an argument with like in Pro-Am, I always had my car set up at full kill mode, like at all times, where it was as grippy as possible, and I would just account for whatever came across. And that's how I personally believe that it still should go. And like whenever it comes to the rain, Sam, I'm sure you've seen this, how crazy everybody gets when it rains. When I personally am just like, well, we should just go run because like we're pros, aren't we? Like, why is this a problem? And so
it's it's just boring as hell to watch. So I mean, I get why they want to try to make it exciting and wait, but yeah, I mean, as far
well, like taking qualifying away whenever it rains and like doing stuff like that, I think it's shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. So what I'm getting to with the rain thing is that everybody changes their setups crazily or have a rain setup, but still nobody can really even drive in the rain. Yeah. And it's like that consistency thing. It's like if you like I don't know, like to me, I have when it rains, I literally maybe drop 1 pound of tire pressure or 2 pounds of tire pressure, and I don't change anything else, and I can still go out there and like drive it fine. So it's like I think that I just need to like get a true setting, like setup down where it's in full kill pretty much at all times, and I can just go whatever with after that. Like I just had like before previously, I think a lot of disagreement with car setup and stuff like that, and then like of course I'm not at the other end of the wrench, so I'm not what I say doesn't necessarily happen.
But what if you're in full kill mode and you're behind one of the slower drivers? Isn't that kind of difficult to do a follow?
Yeah, but I think it's way more difficult to do that. Way more difficult to like try to catch up to somebody because they're at full kill and you're not at full kill, and like they're running away from you all the time. That's my biggest problem in FD is I like my car, because my car is still a front mount radiator and I don't have nearly as much rear weight, and that's why I think Matt is trying to go to doing the Corvette because of the amount of weight the transmission back there provides. Yep. So like yeah, that's the one thing that I'm kind of iffy about, because I still have a front mount radiator setup. So it's like Dye in Seattle and Kristaps and everybody, as soon as we enter on the bank, they just make ground like all the way until infinity, and then I can catch up to them later on in the park. But then at the wall where it's full throttle and I set myself up behind them, they will make ground on me. Like,
you feel like that's because they have their ass planted better, or why are they pulling away?
I think that they have their ass planted better, and I think that the whole philosophy of their design, their setup is like a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of weight unbalance and radiators, we have a question from Macho Man Randy Sanchez, and he's asking, what is the best way to defend against a roundhouse kick?
Great question. We've all been wanting to know that from Matt. So, Matt, what is the best way to defend against a roundhouse kick?
That's a great question, Sam. It is a quick, swift duck and then a punch to the groin. Every time.
Oh,
yeah,
Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage. Yeah, I was gonna say it's a Johnny Cage. Just do the splits and hit.
Wait, what?
It's a Mortal Kombat joke.
Good joke. That's
Johnny Coffman.
Yeah,
Johnny the Cage Coffman.
Fatality. That was a
this is a really personal question from Sam Bennett 713. So take a minute if you need to answer this. Have you ever eaten food while on the toilet?
On the toilet.
Yeah, have you ever eaten food while on the toilet?
See, my brain says no, but my heart says yes.
Yep.
What does your butt say though?
There has to have been a point like where a fruit roll-up was dangling out of my mouth.
That's the best food to eat on the toilet because
fruit roll-up.
There's a good chance.
And maybe it'll dip. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful of the dip.
And if you can like kind of suspend disbelief for a minute and like do like a mental exercise like while you're eating and pooping, you can kind of picture that the food's just going right through you without ever stopping. You know.
We have a question from Aaron Dukey. Who, by the way, the Dukester has been missing kind of recently.
Yeah, where has he been? He's back though.
Speaking of Dukies, Aaron Dukey is asking, you know how sometimes fire stations will do calendars full of shirtless firemen to raise money? Do you think that would be a good way to fund a race program, or would you go to the bikini car wash route?
Well, like I was saying, the cam thing is really a big thing right now.
Yeah.
If every time that you want to say eat a fruit roll-up on the toilet, there is some guy in Malaysia who's willing to pay you $10 to watch you do so.
Wow.
I would pay for a calendar of you like working on your car, working at a fire station, like doing some rally stuff, hanging out with your cat, shirtless, just like all shirtless. Though.
Playing sand volleyball.
Yeah, playing sand volleyball. If you wanted to finance that and like put it out, I would probably be on the waiting list to buy. Just FYI.
You could probably take the pictures then. Like 12 months, 12 pictures.
There you go.
Theme them to the different seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Matt Coffman throughout the seasons. I like it.
There you go.
We can do that.
It's 12 shades of Coffman.
Oh, there's many shades.
Oh,
this is hey.
Show off.
This is a good question from VH Hoonigan 9 two-part question here. How important is style to you, and do you think style can be a huge benefit to marketing?
What?
No, sorry.
Say that again.
Is that driving styling or is that like overall styling?
He doesn't specify. So let's say both.
Let's talk about both.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I think driving style is super important because, I think that's another thing that got us all into drifting personally. And when I go to FD, and I'm sure you see it too, Sam, when you see a lot of super high-speed drifting but no actual drifting, where it's like pretty, and it's like everybody's just trying to make their car as fast as possible and like so that they can run away from whoever as fast as possible. So I think like bringing Forrest back into it will be phenomenal because like Forrest, I think is one of those people who cares a lot more about his style more than like his aggression of getting through the course. So I think it's important. I'm like a loser when it comes to like style, but there's a weird thing in my brain. So it's like where I live in Oregon, like, and it's the same thing when it's having the slammed Subaru, Sam. It's like I loved having my Subaru all low and whatnot, but then I literally negated my ability to go up into the mountains. So it's like I was trading looking good, sitting in this parking lot of the 7-Eleven, like for like doing sweet rally stuff in the mountains.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a really hard thing to trade. So that's why I think you could do two things. So it's like when I can't get a Skyline to make more than like 50 horsepower, then I have no problem with like slamming it and stuff like that because like that's all. But like if I'm trying to make like a mountain touring car, like full-on race time attack car, then it's like I can't just like go with what's more beautiful than over function. I'm like kind of a nerd.
And I think also, like you said in the beginning, like going fast versus style, I think that going fast can also be a sweet style. Like I get pumped when I see people blasting as fast as possible. Maybe they have less angle, but I mean, I guess style is all how you interpret it, and it's just what you see, I guess, in a driver. Like, there's no doubt that Forrest has a ton of style, which we all love watching. But I also think that dudes that drive fast as fuck have tons of style too. Like, I'm trying to think, who is the most speediest person through the course this last season?
Kristaps.
Yeah, I feel like
Kristaps.
Kristaps. And I love Kristaps' style because he is just complete bulldozer, very hyper fast, and I think that he had tons of style while also being fast.
Right. Yeah, and that's an I agree with that. I
just want to point it out, like, with all this Subaru talk, I think, like, Brian got something because he's, like, blowing clouds. Like,
he's vape smoking.
Brian, please show the audience. Like, don't be shy and throw one of those big clouds that you've been puffing all the show.
I just heard some juices being burned.
Yeah, there it comes. Wait. There you go.
Sick, dude. Sick cloud. Is
wow.
that churro flavored or what?
It's a blue dragon flavor.
Show off.
This is to quit smoking. That's what I'm doing. So Matt,
why am I gonna, dude? I have people in my face telling me that's more healthy than smoking. That came from some factory in Taiwan. There's no way it's healthier than smoking.
You know what? It's one step closer to getting away from cigarettes because I needed to get away from them. They were like messing me up.
I agree. That's what I'm probably gonna end up doing.
He's one step closer to the edge, and he's about to vape.
I don't want to break.
A real Subaru kid.
I mean, you are a Subaru kid from what we're hearing. So what? Yeah, just switch to the vape stick.
Yeah, I will do that. No, I'm gonna like this year because like driving the truck and trailer by myself. Like I'm gonna want to like get places with a decent amount of time and smoking cigarettes before
I hear you. I hear you,
stop and stuff like that. So it's like So I'm gonna use having to sit in the truck and having to make good time across the country as an excuse to be like no.
Well, I mean, you're already surrounding yourself with tire smokes. And fun fact, I don't know if people knows, but tire smoke is not really smoke. It's tire vapor. And so vaping and tire and doing drifting, burnouts, and vaping and drifting is actually more similar than what you're just vaping with your car. Yeah, you're vaping your tires, literally.
If they could make vape juice that tasted like an FD event, like with the right amount of tire smoke, then I'd be interested in vaping.
So Achilles can have their own flavor.
Achilles flavor and
there you go.
Nexon flavor. And who else is on the game still?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
Nate Spink says, "What is your inspiration for the look of your car?"
That my dad, he was big into my dad was kind of just big into American made or just weird engineered or well created stuff, kind of just like an old school American sort of dude. And he loved just anything from 30s era to 60s era mechanical anything, and he was a really good pilot. And so he he made friends with a whole bunch of people. I live in a big retirement area, so there's a whole bunch of old World War II planes down here. Yeah. So I kind of grew up at the airport, just hanging around at plane shows and stuff, just looking at the race planes and looking at the war planes and stuff like that. And so I don't know, and getting to meet a lot of those old fighter pilots and actually their stories and stuff that they have to tell, it's they were a totally different race of people. I don't know, it's insane the sort of stuff that they tell stories of. And so I kind of just looked up to those people as the warriors of our time, the most valiant. Well, not the most valiant, but you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah. The World War II.
Yeah, so all my planes.
Insane. And I've definitely noticed that in the livery inspiration on your car. It's really cool. It's one of my favorite. Even though it's simple, it has always been one of my favorite liveries out there, just because it is simple and straightforward.
Is that's username Cobra Commando Hot Dog 69. He wants to know, is that this machine is built for war? Is that an actual a phrase that you came up with, or is actually something that you brought from any of the planes or something like that?
No, that was something that me and my friends me and my buddy Ian Dillon's Factory 83 kind of came up with, just as because a lot of those old planes, and you'll see in a lot of them had small details like a do not step here, just little tiny things that little airplane nuances and stuff. It said and I always had I used to have a thing that said this vehicle may emit chemtrails and stuff. And this year it says this vehicle emits 0 fucks. So
Nice.
it's like, just like it was one of those little detail things that like,
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, I like it. I always liked it. I know like a lot of people were like, hey, what's it mean? It's like, I don't know, but it's pretty cool. It looks like a battleship.
It was gimmicky at first, and then it's kind of grown on me over the years. There's some people that really like it, and there's actually there's a group of like bomber pilots over in Syria that put it on, like came over, saw around, and then like hung out with us, and then put that sticker on their bomber. And then
wow.
that's
Sweet.
pictures of it. Yeah,
That's rad.
A machine that was actually built for war.
yeah, it was really cool.
Interesting.
So Cody86 says, who do you think is the most underrated driver in FD currently?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I guess including drivers from last season.
Yeah.
That is actually a hard
Underrated
one.
is
To be
tough.
honest,
Yeah.
that Russian dude that came in at Long Beach and then
Gotcha.
couldn't end up balancing FD and the rest of it, I had high hopes for that dude.
But I think
Do you
he's
guys remember that guy in the
yeah.
yellow 15?
Gotcha. He's like Georgie. He's like a well-known driver over there. So I don't know if that
Yeah.
necessarily counts as underrated because
doesn't
also
really count,
he
yeah.
didn't really run. But for example, like I mean, in my opinion, I think one of the most underrated drivers would be Jonathan Castro.
Oh, 100% agree. But this year, Jonathan turned it around 100%. Like this year, Jonathan was there was multiple runs where I was watching that like Jonathan was running that made me like shout in excitement. Like
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
And now
It was-
that
Go ahead.
I was gonna move it to the next driver, but what were you gonna say about Jonathan?
Oh well, no, just like that follow run that he had with Vaughn and a follow run that he had with James Dean too.
Dean,
I
yeah.
think.
Yep.
Yeah,
Twice.
like incredible. Like a totally different driver. Totally different driver.
Yeah.
And looking at the drivers list here, not that he's underrated because he still finished 8th, but I think Peter Wiechek is gonna be still making incredible waves and going further next year because it's easy to just look at him as a less good version of James Dean because they drive almost identical cars, but it's like he's.
But there's battles in the past where he's beaten James and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a guy who actually like I think like one of the only guys who beat James Dean over there in IDC and PDC, from my understanding.
Right.
So who you think is
I don't know
your
much about it.
most underrated driver?
Man, this is a difficult one.
You're not off the
'cause I don't,
hook yet, man.
Am I allowed to look at a driver's list here? For a
Yeah, I
second?
mean, I look at one for every show, the entire show, so I can look.
Oh, my
really?
God.
See, I don't have like 8 monitors hanging out around. Here.
I mean, I believe you if you say. I think Castro's a good answer. I think Peter's a good chance.
I think Jonathan. Yeah, that's a really good one, honestly. Man, people that have been in the past. Dai, honestly, I feel bad for Dai. Dai was like my favorite champion growing up, and I feel like he's had a really hard time over the last few years. But he's not underrated. Everybody knows
Yeah.
Dai.
Yeah.
And he's quietly coming in high most of the time.
I guess maybe. Man, this is a hard one, man. This is a hard one, man. God, I don't know how to answer that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I have an easier question from Sam Marys. He's asking, tell us how are you going to win Formula Drift Long Beach this year?
Cool. By this,
Yeah.
if I can get all of my stuff properly packed into the trailer and not have, if I can make it to FD Long Beach without a hiccup, I will be blessed in and of itself with that. Like me just being my stupid self and my stupid, like I've got no business like fully managing an FD program all the way from top to bottom. But I mean, this year I've done it, and it's like I'm hoping that like hopefully the whole scenario change and like just being involved with the 100% of the difficulties will maybe change something around in that, and like also being like the head of a new team and like all that sort of stuff. I'm just hoping for maybe a new, I don't know, just overall thing, I guess. Yeah, I wanted to drive so much more this off season, but since I smoked 3rd and 4th in my Pro-Am car in the off season, I haven't had time to take the transmission out and send it back. So like,
what would be your strategy if you go up in top 32 against James Dean? How do you possibly beat that guy? How would you follow better than him? How would you change what you've been doing?
I think that in the past I've just been too timid about because like I didn't necessarily. I'm like, man, if I like hit somebody, because then like I don't know if I trust that I will be able to get back out there or something like that. So I think that always held me back a lot. I didn't used to be nearly as timid like back in the day, and like watching all my runs, like I'm so much more timid than like I used to be, and I think that's so I think just really just saying the hell with it, dude. Honestly, like I'm just gonna go have fun, and like I don't care if I damage the car, and like it's I'm gonna have fun.
I'm not saying to 2018 Formula Drift drivers to hit James Dean every run, but you've got to know that if you do not do, I mean, you can hit him, you can bump him lightly, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going up against James Dean and you don't tap his car at least like 2 or 3 times, like you're gonna lose. Like you should just know off the bat you need to do a crazier chase than you've ever done in your life, with like which like Castro was able to do, thankfully, in Orlando at some point. But I just feel like as a driver going up against that dude and knowing what he's capable of, like you can't be afraid to damage shit. Like you gotta be.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Well, I have,
and that's where I've been. So I don't know.
I have a comment from 666 Drifter, and he's saying, I just want to say you're doing burnouts from start to finish during qualifying is the manliest fucking thing, and what I look forward to most during events. Hope to see you at Takeover again this year. Kisses and hugs, Ben. And I agree, dude. Yeah, like your car, it's a vape machine. I mean, the sound matches the clouds.
Well, and that's, I think, going back to a part of the style over, I guess, just, I don't know what you would call it, over just like trying to be 100% legit about it, I guess, is like you miss like cool entries and stuff like that where people try to do like a fat like burnout to like with a huge feint like to the entry, instead of like people doing this exact calculated entry every single time, which, I mean, consistency is a good thing to have in and of itself, but when you're consistent without substance, then it's like, man. But, I don't know. So I love those burnouts. I think they're way so much fun. And since the thing is it's great.
All right, I'm good on questions, Paco. Are you good?
I was looking for a photo that I snapped of Coffman at Irwindale. It might be hard to find. It's probably on my Instagram, but one of my
This year?
No, that was like when your car was still like black and camo gray. No, was it like camel? Like that's it's like a while ago.
Green white.
And I remember it's kind of like a funny anecdote actually when you actually hit the wall right where I was like standing, and I captured the photo of like you inside the car, and like you can see like your hands like kind of like swatting flies, because I mean I can imagine how hard when the tires hit the front the wall, the steering wheel just turns super high, super fast. But I think that was the car that you set on fire after that season. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%. That car was a demon to me, dude, honestly. And that season, honestly, just had like demons just like running around me like all the time. It was because like I had my Pro-Am car that I was in. For those of you who have watched me in my Pro-Am car, you know that I'm way more comfortable in that thing than I am in my Pro car. And it's just because that car just like was a standard setup ass chassis, and I know how it's set up, and it's like perfect. It's just like I describe it like a Forza car. Like you can literally just get in it and like clutch kick for like as fast and long as you please, and like you can do however fast like initiations that you want. So it's like, and then coming from that into the FD car, like I was not allowed to see the car because I brought on new managers and stuff. People that I thought were going like promised me like, you know, like all of our dreams, anything that we've ever dreamt of, like it looked like they were just holding out in front of their hands, like, and all I had to do was take it. And so like I took it, and then so like they were all like, oh well, you don't know like any of this, like how to build a car, how to design a car, like a 13 or anything like that. And then I was just like, well, all we need to do is replicate the Pro-Am car. And then like basically they just like did the exact opposite. Like it was pretty intense. So like yeah.
Well, I just.
I'm sorry, what? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't a question. It was more like an anecdote. And I remember, like, that's, like, you were running so hard, like it was like last event of the season, and you literally were like, you know what? If I'm going out, I'm going out in a blaze of glory. And I thought it was an amazing moment. But then, like when you set the car on fire and all that, and now that you're saying that the car it was like a demon out of control. It's I don't know. I think it's a very cool lore.
Not cohesive. Yeah. So I just wanted to as a reveal thing. I just wanted to
send the demon back to hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty metal right there.
I dig it. It's pretty fun, but no more of that negative bullshit anymore, dude. Honestly, like drifting used to be so much fun, and that's all I ever wanted to be ever again.
Yeah, man, get back there. It seems like you're on the course to do so, and I'm excited to see what 2018 has for you in the program.
Yeah, me too. It should be fun.
Any last words for this big cat, Paco?
Any questions you want to ask us?
Yeah, do you have any questions for Paco? Do you want to know like what he's eating today, or where he's gonna go after he hangs up the phone here?
Well, I mean, yeah. What are you guys gonna do with the rest of your Sundays? Oh no, fuck, it's Monday.
It's Sunday, bro.
It's Monday.
Get your life together,
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry.
I've got a big shoot in the morning, so I'm gonna go to bed like responsible. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, what? You can't talk about it? Big shoot. Nothing. No information.
Little
okay?
secret shoots.
It's not kind of way exciting, but I got to be in tip-top shape.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna watch some Netflix.
Drink more wine and go to bed at 3 a.m. You'll wake up feeling awesome.
Yeah, I've found that usually is a recipe for success, is staying up all night and drinking.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, are you guys all going to be at Long Beach?
Oh, you better believe it, son.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have a surprise.
Oh, yeah, you're... Oh, okay.
Well, take it easy, Matt. Take it easy, Matt.
I know. I'm chilling. Wait.
Well, thank you so much
Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much for taking this time to speak with us, and
thank you guys.
we'll talk to you very soon and see you in Long Beach.
See you at Long Beach, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Later.
Good night, brah.
Peace.
All right, Sam.
And
a
shoot.
big kitty.
Huh?
A big old cat.
That was a big cat, man.
That was one big cat, and you got a little cat in the background. He's a big cat.
Yep. But I mean, I don't know. We can't hate on cats.
He's always a pleasure to talk to, that guy. He's a very real, legit.
Yeah, since
and he's not afraid to talk about his emotions in the sport, which I enjoy, and I'm pumped to see him having the balls of that S13 one more year in FT.
Are you planning on doing Drift Chronicles? No, Driver on Driver?
I don't know. I feel like I kind of want it to be done, but also I kind of want to do one with Kristaps.
Well, I mean,
we'll see.
do one with Kristaps and see how it goes. I mean, I think Coffman would be a funny one. There's a lot of puns.
It's possible to keep it going, but we'll see. We'll see what this year holds. I have some other ideas for stuff I might want to do, and who knows? Maybe we'll be busy with some other things.
Oh, it's a surprise!
It's a surprise!
Yay!
Well,
Sam, do you have
any plugs to plug
yes,
other than
so
the big
first,
ones?
Yeah, first of all, we have to thank AM Intakes.
Thanks, AM.
AM Intakes, the intakes that you want for your car. Thanks for AM supporting the show. Then we also have McLeod Clutches. So McLeod Clutches. McLeod Tuning Series. The clutch that you want in your car. McLeod.
I want to buy McLeod clutches now.
Oh, see, it worked. And we also have to thank our Patreons. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Don't forget, just I think some people didn't hear last episode, but we are doing a giveaway for a set of Motegi wheels. We're still defining what model the wheel will be. Apparently, there's an update, and there'll be like a new model that's coming out. So the way to join the giveaway, the drawings.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you have to become a Patreon with at least $1. So $1 gives you one entry into the draw. If you join the Patreon for $2, you get 2 entries. So the more you want to support the show with, the more chances you have to win yourself.
But someone is going to walk off with a set of Motegi wheels.
A
Could be a new
full
design,
brand new set of Motegi wheels that are not leftover wheels from Corey, because somebody
Believe
said
it or not,
that.
these are not Corey's old wheels.
No,
even
these are
though
actually
those might have some value to someone.
brand new wheels coming directly from Motegi Wheels. So join our Patreon, and if you do, I mean, we appreciate your help and support because thanks to you guys, this show actually happens.
Woo!
Brian, sorry, but before we go to Brian, Sam, anything you want to add?
I'd like to plug Amazon box cutter knives. These are great. If you want to cut open some boxes, you can pull this out and cut open boxes, no problem.
Yes.
I'd like to plug
a butt plug.
But Paco.
Jesus.
I'd like to plug butts. All right, no, that's it. That's all I got.
That's it.
I'd like to plug the vape.
I'd like to
You got to
plug
do the vape.
Corey's raid that he's on, his wild raid this week.
Yeah, I think he's losing.
He's scaling Boner Mountain. He's gonna be the king of Boner Mountain.
Don't lie. Are you gonna go play PUBG after you're done with the show? We'll play with Corey.
I had time. I'd like to. No, I'm probably going to order some Postmates and watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Perfect.
I'm gonna be fully legit with you guys, and then I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm gonna make some videos at RS with Forest Turkberg, whatever you want to call it.
With your buddies.
I'm sure you'll see some snippety Snapchats of not Snapchats. That's what the kids do. Instagrams of some of that nonsense if you want to check that out. And yeah, check out the video when it comes out called Blackout Garage.
Oh, that's right. When is that? When is Blackout releasing?
It's going to be, I believe, the first Thursday of every month.
First Thursday of every month?
But that's tentative right now. We're still figuring that out. But I believe that's what it's going to be, first Thursday of every month starting March. And it's going to be a show that is just kind of following the antics of those two as they lead their lives in FD and otherwise. And yeah, should be a good time.
I'll watch that.
Heck yeah.
Perfect. Well, with that said, we're going to put the links for everything that we talked about today on the descriptions, and everything will be available on our website and on our Facebook page and also our message board. And with that said, thanks, Brian. We hope you kill it at your online Forza competition.
Yep, and Brian will no doubt post links to the discussion board. If you're not a member of the Maximum Driftcast discussion board, get in there. Brian will post links about where to watch him slay the dragon.
Yep, you better bring one of these to the studio, buddy. So
we'll see how I do.
No pressure, no pressure. And
there's a lot of good guys out there. So
I earned it, Sam. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, with this, we're gonna send you to bed. Not just you, Sam. Everybody,
get to bed without a glass of warm milk because you've all been very disobedient tonight. Thank you. You can have your glass of warm milk. Listen to our sweet sounds of our voices tuck you in as you dream off into Slumber Village. And there you'll meet Corey at the top of Boner Mountain.
Soothing you into the nights, and we say goodbye.
And goodbye.